Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami and I am building my fashion brand. So I am building my fashion brand by Grace. The more and more I've done my research, the more and more I think, wow, the way I'm building this is so much more difficult and there are way more easier routes that I could take. A part of me is like, this is the vision, just stick to it and journey on. And the other part of me is like, do I regret this? Should I take some shortcuts because I've actually chosen the hardest way to do this? The first thing is silk. I am using the most slippery, expensive fabric, and the fabric requires so much prep before you could even cut into it. There's so many different more tools and accessories you'll need for your sewing machine. How have I managed to pick the hardest fabric to use when starting my clothing brand? The first thing is the cost. The cost is about 5 times more than a decent polyester. And although I'm never gonna switch from silk satin to polyester satin, it's very tempting when it comes to using silk in practice and finding tailors and seamstresses that are able to work with this fabric. That's another thing that I've come to understand that is a lot more harder than I expected. With all the research that I've done, I've seen that silk actually requires to be steamed before you actually cut into it. With silk, you have to hang it in a certain way so it doesn't change shape or get distorted. These are things that I didn't know about silk. And these are things that are just making it more and more tempting for me to change the fabric completely. But I'm going to stick to this mission and create beautiful garments for women all over the world. So although the cost of silk is so high, my mission is to really make silk somewhat more accessible, and I really want to make sure my brand is at a high standard and it's something that I'm actually proud of. I really want to ensure that my garments are able to be worn for years to come. I also care about how my garments feel against people's skin, and I also want to make sure that I'm contributing to the world in more of a sustainable way. I'm willing to take that risk and go down this route, making my garments primarily with silk. Something else that I found really important to me, but is still very tempting to change, is the way the garment is constructed. Now, garments are constructed in many different ways, and some ways are a lot more cheaper and a lot more quicker than others. I want my garments to be finished with French seams in places where you would usually overlock the fabric in fast fashion or cheaply done kind of clothes. It looks a lot nicer from the inside and outside, and also it just lasts longer because it's a lot more stronger than just a regular overlock. That is something that I'm tempted to change, only because when it comes to overlocking, it's a lot quicker. A lot more tailors know how to do it very simply. When it comes to French seams, not everybody knows how to do a French seam, and French seams take a lot longer than regular overlocking, and that just means that we won't be able to produce as many garments in a set time period, making the cost of one garment a lot more expensive. So that's something I'm still considering. I'm tempted just to kind of keep to the standard way of making the garment. It's still something I'm considering, and we will see what makes the most sense. I think when I'm creating those samples and I actually get to show you how everything is looking, let me know if it's actually worth it, or let me know if it's something that you believe is important to you when it comes to making a purchase. Another shortcut I'm tempted to take is just finding a manufacturer and letting them deal with production. I'm actually creating my own manufacturing facility. Now, this route is a lot harder, a lot more stressful, but I'm willing to go on this journey. I want creative control. I can sample creative ideas when they come to mind and adjust as we go along. Another reason is quality control, to make sure that we're putting out garments that are of high quality. On top of that, I want to be in a position where I'm positively impacting people's lives, and I'm actually creating a community, not only with my customers, but also in terms of my production. I want to ensure that I'm actually investing in people's lives. So it is tempting to just find a manufacturer and allow them to make these garments instead of actually hiring tailors and actually putting the responsibility on myself. However, I think the benefits outweigh the cons, but we'll see when we're in full production. Hopefully things just go smoothly, but I know if there's anything working in Lagos, things might not go smoothly. Coming into this with a mindset of flexibility, and if I have to pivot, as I said before, I will pivot. So I've said all the things that were a lot more difficult to what I was expecting, and all the shortcuts that I could just take. Why am I not taking these shortcuts, and why does this all still feel worth it? I've got a clear vision of what I want my brand to be. I don't want it to be another brand that's here today and gone tomorrow, but I want a brand that has longevity, but also credibility, and just not another cash grab brand. So even when the methods I've chosen seem difficult and uncomfortable, I'm choosing to be uncomfortable and hope that everything is worth it. And that's a risk I'm willing to take. Right now, I'm still in the ideation phase, but this is based on all the research that I've done, all the conversations that I've had, and it's just prepared me to be realistic about what I'm trying to do. It's prepared me in ways in which I probably wasn't prepared for initially, but it's still something that I want to do. And it's something that I'm even more sure of doing now, even when I've heard all the challenges that may arise. And I hope it's worth it, but we'll see how it goes. If there's anything you want me to discuss in further detail, let me know. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the encouragement that you have given me thus far. I'm really excited to share with you what's in my head, and hopefully you'll see that soon. But for now, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.